The Martinez family reunion happened every July at Uncle Carlos's ranch in Texas Hill Country. 75 relatives packed onto 5 dusty acres, cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, people related by blood and by rumor. Mariachi music blared from a Bluetooth speaker. Carne asada smoked on the grill. Kids shrieked as they ran through sprinklers. I drove in from Austin that Saturday morning. 3 hours on I-35 with a trunk full of grocery bags and a cooler of my mom's famous potato salad. I was running on 4 hours of sleep. We'd closed our Series D funding round at a $558 million valuation the night before, and I'd been on investor calls until 2 a.m. But family was family, so I showed up. The chaos hit the second I parked. My sister Gabriela held court by the pool, flashing her engagement ring while a semicircle of aunts gasped on cue. My brother Miguel leaned against the patio railing, talking real estate numbers with Dad and the uncles. My cousin Sofia's kids screamed like banshees as they soaked everyone within range. "Nina, you made it." Tia Carmen wrapped me in a hug that smelled like perfume and tamales. "We thought you weren't coming." Traffic on I-35. She laughed. "Always. Come, everyone's been asking about you." That was not comforting. I found Mom in the kitchen with Abuela and 3 aunts, assembling enchiladas like a production line. "Mija, finally," Mom said. "The potato salad's in the car? I'll grab it." "And you drove all the way from Austin in that old car again?" "Nina, when are you going to get something reliable?" "It's a Honda," I said. "It's 12 years old and runs perfectly." Tia Rosa looked up from chopping cilantro. "How's your little business, Nina? Still doing the computer thing?" "Yes. Healthcare software, right?" Tia Carmen added. "You making any money yet?" The tone told me she already knew the answer. "We're doing fine." "Fine isn't great," Abuela said, patting my hand. "You're 29. Maybe it's time for a real job." Gabriela works at a law firm. Miguel owns property. "What do you have?" "A healthcare technology company." She waved a dismissive hand. "Yes, your startup. But when does it become real?" I'd been having versions of this conversation for 6 years. "It is real," I said. "Then why do you live in that tiny apartment? Why do you drive an old car? Why do you dress like a student?" She gestured at my jeans and sneakers. "Because I'm comfortable." Mom sighed. "Nina, we love you. We just worry. Most startups fail." I went back to the car for the potato salad and didn't answer. Lunch was served under the oak trees, long folding tables sagging under carne asada, rice, beans, tortillas, and salsa. 75 people talking over each other, laughing, celebrating. I sat at the end with my younger cousins. They were easier. They hadn't decided who I was yet. Halfway through the meal, Gabriela stood and raised her glass. "Did everyone see the announcement?" she said, voice carrying easily. "Carlos proposed last month. We're getting married in January at the Four Seasons." She flashed the ring again, the diamond catching the sun. "He's a partner at Thompson Associates. We just bought a house in Westlake, 4 bedrooms, pool, lake view." Applause erupted. Mom wiped away happy tears. Dad stood next, and Miguel just closed his biggest deal yet. Commercial property downtown, $8.7 million. My son, the real estate mogul. More applause. Miguel bowed theatrically. Then Tio Roberto called out, "What about Nina? You still doing your tech thing?" Every head turned. "Yeah," I said, "still doing it." "Is it going well?" he asked. I opened my mouth. "Oh, come on," Gabriela cut in, laughing. "Nina's been doing her tech thing for 6 years. If it were going well, we'd know." A few people laughed, not cruelly, just comfortably. "Gabby," I said evenly, "you don't actually know what my company does. I know you live in a 600 square foot apartment and drive a car older than my relationship with Carlos." She smiled, playing to the crowd. "I know you work from coffee shops, and I know you've never invited us to your office, probably because you don't have one." "Gabriela," Miguel warned. "What? I'm being honest. Nina's a failed entrepreneur. It's embarrassing. Someone had to say it." Silence fell over the tables. Mom set down her fork. "That's too harsh." "Is it?" Gabriela shot back. "You said the same thing last week." Mom Failed entrepreneur. Your words. I stood. So that's what you think, I said calmly. That I failed. Nina, Mom started. It's fine. I grabbed my keys. I need to get back to Austin. Work. Don't leave like this, Dad said. I'm not upset, I said. I just have work to do. As I walked away, Gabriela called after me, always running back to that little startup. So embarrassing. I drove off. And to be fair, they had every reason to believe I was failing. 6 years earlier, I'd quit a 6-figure job at Epic Systems to start MedLink AI. Everyone thought I'd lost my mind. I walked away from security to chase a problem most people didn't even understand. Medical errors were the third leading cause of death in the US, not because doctors were careless, but because data was fragmented, overwhelming, impossible to process in real time. I wanted to build AI that didn't replace doctors, but backed them up. A second set of eyes, a safety net. The first 3 years nearly broke me. I burned through $120,000 in savings, lived on rice and beans, taught myself machine learning and medical informatics, worked 20-hour days while doctors told me it would never work. In 2020, a rural hospital in West Texas took a chance on us. In the first month, MedLink flagged 3 diagnostic errors before they turned fatal. Word spread. By 2021, 20 hospitals, $3 million in revenue. By 2022, 180 clients, $47 million raised. By 2023, 420 clients, $87 million in revenue, $320 million valuation. By 2025, 890 hospitals in 43 states, 470 employees, $340 million in annual revenue, and a freshly closed Series D at $558 million. That Monday night, 2 days after the reunion, I was scheduled to appear on the Forbes 30 Under 30 healthcare cover, live on national television. My family didn't know. Not because I hid it, but because they never asked. I got home Sunday night, poured a glass of wine, and stared at my phone. 15 missed calls from Mom, texts from Miguel, from Dad, from Tia Carmen. Mija, your mother is upset, please call her. I turned the phone off. Sunday, my stylist arrived with wardrobe options. My PR team sent talking points. My CEO called to rehearse. You ready? He asked. As I'll ever be. After tomorrow night, everyone will know who you are. I know. Does your family? No. A pause. You going to warn them? No, I said. They called me a failed entrepreneur in front of 75 people. They can find out with everyone else. He laughed. Cold. Maybe, I said, but fair. I can't wait to see their faces. James said. Record their reactions if you can. I'll try. Monday evening, I slipped into the dress my stylist had chosen, a sleek navy blue gown that cost more than my first 3 months of rent combined. My hair and makeup were professionally done. I barely recognized myself in the mirror. I looked like someone who belonged on a Forbes cover. I snapped a selfie and sent it to my best friend, Diana. Me, Forbes 30 Under 30 Awards ceremony. I'm being featured on the cover. Diana, holy hell, you look unreal. Where are you going? Me, Forbes 30 Under 30 Awards ceremony. Diana, wait, what? When were you planning to tell me? Me, I just did. Diana, this is massive. Are you nervous? Me, terrified. Diana, you're going to destroy it. Call me after, I want every detail. Also, does your family know? Me, nope. Diana, oh my God. Nina, that's evil. I love it. The ceremony was held at the Four Seasons downtown. Red carpet, flashing cameras, reporters calling my name. I felt wildly out of place and smiled anyway, answering questions from Entertainment Tonight, CNBC, and Bloomberg like this was normal. Inside, the ballroom glittered. 600 people filled the room, founders, investors, executives, journalists. I found my seat near the front with the other healthcare honorees. The broadcast went live at 8 p.m. on CNN and Forbes website. 2 hours later, they reached healthcare. Our next honoree, the host announced, has transformed diagnostic accuracy in hospitals across the United States. Her AI platform has analyzed over 400 million patient records and is estimated to have prevented more than 12,000 medical errors in the past year alone. Please welcome the founder and CEO of MedLink AI, Nina Martinez. The spotlight found me. My heart hammered as I stood and walked to the stage. The Crystal Award was cool in my hands. I took the microphone and looked out at the room. 6 years ago, I said, I quit my job to start MedLink AI. Everyone thought I was crazy. My family thought I was throwing my life away. A ripple of quiet laughter. But I'd seen too many people die from preventable medical errors. I knew there had to be a better way, and I couldn't walk away from that. The room was completely silent. Today, MedLink AI serves 890 hospitals in 43 states. We've analyzed more than 400 million patient records. We've helped doctors catch mistakes before they became fatal. I paused. We've saved lives, and we're just getting started. Applause surged through the ballroom. To every entrepreneur who's been called a failure by people who don't understand what they're building, keep going. One day, they'll understand, and when they do, it'll be on your terms, not theirs. The applause turned thunderous. Someone whistled. Thank you, Forbes, I said, lifting the award, and thank you to my team at MedLink AI. This is only the beginning. I walked off stage to a standing ovation. Backstage, my phone, left with an assistant, looked possessed. 127 missed calls. Hundreds of texts. Voicemail completely full. I scrolled. Mom, Nina. Mom, Nina Maria Martinez. Mom, you are on television. Call me right now. Gabriela, what the hell? Gabriela, is that you on Forbes? Gabriela, answer your phone. Miguel, holy little sis. Dad, Mija, I just saw you on CNN. I don't understand what's happening. Tia Carmen, Nina. Forbes, you're on Forbes. Tia Rosa, is this real? We are watching you right now. Diana, you killed it. You're trending everywhere. I turned my phone off. The afterparty spilled onto a rooftop downtown, open bar. Soft lights, Austin skyline glowing behind us. Investors handed me business cards. Journalists asked for exclusives. Founders pitched collaborations. James found me close to midnight. You're trending on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, he said, grinning. The Forbes site crashed. This is insane. Good insane? The best kind. CNBC wants you tomorrow morning. Bloomberg wants an exclusive. TechCrunch wants a deep dive. Next week, I said. I need to breathe first. He nodded. Have you checked your phone? No. You might want to. Your family is spiraling. I powered it on. It immediately exploded with notifications. The family group chat was chaos. Mom, Nina, please call us. We're so confused. Gabriela, I can't believe you didn't tell us. Miguel, this is incredible. I'm so proud of you. Dad, your mother is crying. Please call. Tia Carmen, everyone is calling me asking if this is real. Tio Roberto, I'm watching the rerun. You said 890 hospitals? Mi amor, why didn't you tell us? I typed one message. I tried. For 6 years. You weren't listening. Then I turned my phone off again. Tuesday morning, I woke up famous. The ceremony had pulled 2 million live viewers. My speech was everywhere, TikTok, Instagram, X, quote graphics, memes. They'll understand eventually, and when they do, it'll be on your terms. Hashtag failed entrepreneur was trending. My doorbell rang at 9 a.m. Through the peephole, I saw Mom, Dad, Gabriela, and Miguel standing in my hallway. I opened the door. Nina, Mom said, eyes red, can we come in? They stepped into my small apartment, glancing around like it was a stranger's home. We watched the ceremony. Dad said quietly, twice, we're trying to understand. You said your company serves 890 hospitals, Mom said, is that true? Yes. And the valuation? Gabriela asked softly. 558 million? Yes. How much do you own? 54%. Miguel did the math, his face drained of color. That's over 300 million. On paper, I said, until a liquidity event. Mom sank onto the couch. I called you a failed entrepreneur on Saturday. You did. And you didn't correct me. Would you have believed me? She couldn't answer. Gabriela paced. You let us think you were broke. You let us mock you. No, I said calmly. You made assumptions. I just didn't protect you from them. That's cruel. Was it kind when you called me embarrassing in front of 75 people? When you laughed at my life's work? She stopped pacing. Dad cleared his throat. We're sorry. We were wrong. But why didn't you tell us the truth? I did, I said. For years. You just never listened long enough to hear it. Mom whispered. We thought we were being supportive. I looked at her gently. Support doesn't sound like doubt disguised as concern. By not pushing you, Mom said softly. By not making you feel bad about not succeeding. I met her eyes. You made me feel bad about trying. That's worse. Miguel eased onto the arm of the couch. The Forbes article says you've prevented more than 12,000 medical errors. Is that actually accurate? Conservative, I said. Our algorithms flag diagnostic risks, drug interactions, treatment conflicts, things buried in the data. Doctors make the final decisions. We just make sure nothing critical gets missed. Miguel shook his head slowly. That's incredible. It's what I've been doing for 6 years, I said, while you all thought I was wasting my life. No one spoke. Traffic hummed faintly through the open window. Finally, Gabriela broke the silence. I'm sorry, Nina. Truly, what I said at the reunion was cruel. I was showing off, and I made you the punchline. That was wrong. It was. She swallowed. Can you forgive me? Eventually, I said. But this isn't just about Saturday. It's about 6 years of dismissal. 6 years of assumptions. 6 years of nobody caring enough to ask what I was actually building. Mom wiped at her eyes. What do we do now? I don't know, I admitted. I need time. I need to figure out how to be part of this family now that you finally know who I am. We've always known who you are, Dad said quickly. I shook my head. No, you knew who you assumed I was. That's not the same thing. They left an hour later, quiet, apologetic, stunned. The rest of the day blurred into interviews, congratulatory calls, and messages from people who had always believed in me, or at least knew enough to ask questions. By evening, I had 89 voicemails from extended family. I listened to 3, then deleted the rest. Tia Rosa apologized through tears. Tio Roberto told me he'd never been prouder. Abuela left a voicemail that made me sit down. Mi amor, she said, voice trembling. I saw you on the television. You looked so strong, so confident. I should have known you were doing something special. I'm sorry I doubted you. Te amo, Mija. Diana called at 8. You broke the internet, she said. That feels exaggerated. It's not. Hashtag failed entrepreneur is everywhere. Your speech has been viewed 18 million times. You're a meme. Fantastic. How are you actually doing? Exhausted, I said. My family showed up this morning. They apologized. And? I want to believe them. But one apology doesn't erase 6 years of being treated like the disappointment. What do you need from them? Time, I said. And proof they care now, not because Forbes told them to, but because they actually want to know me. She smiled through the phone. You didn't chase their approval. You built something so undeniable that their opinions stopped mattering. That takes strength. Or stubbornness. Same thing. The Forbes issue came out in October. My face was on the cover beneath the headline. The 30 under 30 who are changing healthcare. The article spanned 6 pages, our technology, our growth, our impact, doctors, hospitals, patients whose lives had been saved. It included one quote from me. Success isn't about proving people wrong. It's about building something so meaningful that their doubt becomes irrelevant. Mom bought 50 copies and mailed them to every extended family member with a handwritten note. This is what Nina has been building. We should have asked. Slowly, carefully, we began rebuilding. Mom started asking real questions, not polite ones, but curious ones. She visited our Austin office and cried when she saw my name on the directory. Dad started reading medical journals and sending me articles. Miguel became my loudest supporter, telling anyone who would listen about his sister's company. Gabriela took longer. 3 months after the ceremony, she asked me to get coffee. I was jealous, she admitted, of your courage. You took risks I was too afraid to take. So I mocked you, because if you failed, my safe choices felt justified. And if I succeeded? She smiled sadly. I didn't think that was possible. Are we okay? She asked. We're getting there, I said. Trust takes time. She nodded. I'm willing to earn it. We talked for 2 hours. For the first time in years, we actually talked. It was a start. MedLink AI was acquired by Google Health for $1.8 billion. My stake made me worth just under $1 billion. I stayed on as CEO. Every employee received bonuses. The earliest hires became millionaires. Forbes ran a follow-up cover story. They interviewed my family. Mom said, we underestimated her for too long. Gabriela said, she didn't need our approval, just our attention. Dad said, she succeeded despite our doubt. Miguel said, the quietest person in the room is often the most powerful. I framed all 4 quotes and hung them in my office, not because I needed validation, but because they had finally learned to see me. Last week, Abuela texted me. Abuela, Mija, can you forgive an old woman for being stubborn? Me, you taught me stubborn. It's my greatest strength. Abuela, te amo, my brilliant granddaughter. I looked out over the Austin skyline that afternoon and thought about the journey. 6 years of doubt. 6 years of building in silence. 6 years of being invisible. The Forbes ceremony didn't make me successful. It just made my success visible. I'd chosen invisibility until I was undeniable. And when I finally stepped into the light, I did it on my terms. The end.